Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Yeah, so kind of a late live stream, and I don't have a set schedule anymore. Let's just be real about it. Um, Kind of open mic, but also before it becomes open mic, talk about the Pixel 4a, as I've never really made like a full like my thoughts of the Pixel 4a. Right? I mean, we have the Pixel 5 out, and that's still getting coverage. We got the iPhone 12 series that's out, and that's getting coverage. We got a lot of things happening, things changing, the course of things. And so before, it pretty much becomes like an afterthought. I do want to give my thought on the Pixel 4a. But before we get into it, let's get some shout outs. What's going on? Wolford, thanks for being here, bro. We got Michael in the building. I just got done watching your last live stream replay. Wow, that's crazy. Yo, typical Kyler. What's up, man? How's it going? I think the 4A is a better buy, to be honest. Shockingly, I agree with you there. Right? Well, not so shockingly. Okay, I'm a Pixel guy, but I'm not a Pixel guy who has his lips stitched on the sphincter of Google. Call it like it is. And so, as I have lots of different Pixel devices, right? The 4, I have the 4A, I have the Pixel 3, I have the Pixel 5 over here that's charging on the wireless charger. I have the 2, the 2 XL, the 1 XL. I have just about almost every Pixel device. The 3A was given to my former sister-in-law, so she has it. She needed a better phone, and the 3A pretty much suffices for that. So I've had time with all the Pixel devices. Okay, the experience as far as stock Google experience, it's always going to be there. It's always going to be top notch in my book. But with this year's releases of Pixel devices, so the 4A, the series of the 4A, pretty much takes it this year as Google's top. Now, the Pixel 5, don't get me wrong, it's a great phone. I love using it. I think it's amazing. It's got its quirks, it's got its issues that, I'm not going to cover up and hide, but it's a different feeling because Carlos gave me the Pixel 5, you know what I mean? So I can't go out on a limb and say, well, it's the absolute greatest phone of all time. Seeing as the fact is that it was given to me. Now, had I bought the Pixel 5 like I was planning to down the road, maybe it might be singing a different tune, because there is a difference. I'm not going to deny that. There is a difference between getting a phone given to you and what kind of thoughts you're going to have about the phone, which is heavily influenced by the fact is whether you paid for the phone or not. When you pay your hard-earned money for the phone, you kind of have a different perspective. So that's the thing that I keep in mind every time that I'm using the Pixel 5, and I'm like, wow, this phone's pretty good. It's pretty solid. It's got its quirks, but it's pretty solid. Then I got to remember, but this was given to me. Had I feel the same way if I paid $700 and something plus dollars for the phone? Who knows? The Pixel 4a, I'm paying for. You know what I mean? So I feel like that, my thoughts that's with the Pixel 4a, not saying that none of my thoughts are genuine, but just it's not heavily influenced on the fact that it was given to me. What up, Gene? I know, late live stream tonight, man. And so between the 5 and the 4A series, so I'm addressing both the Pixel 4a and then the Pixel 4a 5G. I think is more of a better option. Now, the 4A is going to be a solid option because $349, you can't go wrong. For what you get out of this phone, you cannot go wrong at all. First off, I will say that the display is actually pretty awesome. The fact of the audio quality is okay for what it is. And the cameras on this is pretty solid. I take some pretty awesome pictures, and that's coming from the 4A. Of course, no wireless charging and those types of things, no IP certification for water and dust resistance, but that's okay because I don't like bringing my phones around moisture or water or anything like that. So, given that fact, it's not a loss for me to have to do that, or not to do that. I just feel like that phone should never go anywhere near water, just to be on the safe side about things. I really feel that way. So, um, no loss there when it comes to that. Now, the reason why I say the 4A series, I think is a better buy, obviously, for the pricing what you're getting it at, semi sort of. Okay, the 4A 5G, I guess you could say ultra wideband version, which is $599, I think it is, which is the Verizon model. Um, to me, it's just, but okay, I get it. You know what? Like it's tapping into a different connectivity of 5G, whereas the 4A 5G, which has I believe low and mid band access, is $499. Um, yeah, I mean that's probably the only stump out of the 4A series that I think is just kind of weird. I honestly think that they should have just made like a one size fits all when it came to the 4A 5G. They literally should have made that one just like connected to either ultra wideband, um, you know, 5G from Verizon or low mid band from AT&T T-Mobile. Just having two different models, one that can access, um, you know, basically, uh, yeah, you guys get where I'm going with this. Kind of lost my thought there. My mind's like racing 1,000 miles a minute right now. Hashtag ADHD problems. But compared to the 4A, the 4A 5G to me, if someone was to ask, like, they want to use a Pixel phone, like, yes, the 4A 5G kind of like brings a lot of what the Pixel 5 has in blends it very well with the Pixel 4A. I mean, you get the same camera sensors in the back, um, the same processing chip, Snapdragon 765G. So it's just, right along there. Okay. It lacks the reverse wireless charging and lacks wireless charging, I believe. Shush. Twitter. Which kind of brings like the world of the Pixel 4A into that form factor, and you get 5G connectivity if that's something that's very, very, very important to you. For me, I'm okay without 5G. Some people may be like, "Bro, you're dumb. You're stupid. You shouldn't even be, saying that 5G is the future." And it is. It totally is. Wow, I hit the desk again. It totally is. I'm not going to disagree with that at all whatsoever. I'm not going to disagree. Should be tri-band 5G. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. But I will say that right now it's still got a little bit ways to go, and to people out there who live in an area where 5G is not accessible at all, then what's the point of buying it now? I mean, you can always upgrade. You can always get a Pixel 4a, use the Pixel 4a on LTE, get decent speeds on LTE, get a reliable phone, and then when 5G rolls out to your city sometime next year, will be around the time where you might possibly upgrade again, because let's just face it, people are upgrading every year now. Every year people are upgrading. There are some people who still stick with their phones for maybe like two years at max. But there are a lot of people who say like, "Nah, I'm not going to upgrade. I'm not going to upgrade." And then what do you know? They come on and they talk about, "Well, yeah, I upgraded." And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with people upgrading at all whatsoever. Let me know if the stream starts to glitch out, if it's doing that again. I feel like it is, just from what I'm seeing on my end. Every now and then I see myself kind of like frozen for like a few seconds. So I just want to make sure that the stream goes okay. But yeah, it's not a big deal if you upgrade every year. I mean, what you do with your money is what you do with your money. Who are we to tell you how you should spend your money? So when people are upgrading every year, you can always upgrade to a 5G capable phone next year and save you some money. And a solid phone would be the Pixel 4a. If anyone was like, should I get it? Yes, you should. I mean, it's been super reliable. As a matter of fact, there's times where I'm looking at the Pixel 4 and I'm like, geez, they should have built the Pixel 5 identically to the Pixel 4a. But of course the aluminum body and all that good stuff. What I mean by that is it's like one of the things I wish that the Pixel 5 had is this speaker on the very top, which is used to listen to on your phone calls. I think a physical speaker should have been there. I would have been okay with a open speakers, actually what I'm going to say, but an open speaker should be at the top. The Pixel 5 doesn't. The speaker is beneath the display, according to some. I haven't seen any videos of the Pixel 5 teardown, but it's just, yeah, there's no open speaker at the top for you to listen to your phone calls on. So, having to do that quirky thing of finding the sweet spot for you to actually hear your phone calls with some form of clarity is annoying. To be honest with you, with phone calls, this tends to be the number one savior, the Pixel Buds. And if not that, then the phone is on speakerphone. It's kind of annoying because sometimes you want to have a private call and you want to be able to hold the phone up to your ear and listen to the person without people around you listening to the conversation. That's something that I'm just like, eh. So that is probably one of the biggest things about the Pixel 4a, why I pretty much like using this phone, and it just kind of stays in my hand. The Pixel 5 is in my hand too as well. Shh, quiet. ASMR telling it to be quiet. The Pixel 5 is always with me. You know what I mean? It is my daily driver. But I like also making sure that I carry my Pixel 4a with me. My Pixel 4 tends to go with me places every now and then, but sometimes it stays behind. I know, kind of sad, right? Last year's flagship staying behind at home. It's kind of crazy, but in general, a lot of things. So, the build quality on this thing is solid for $350. The fact that it has a top firing speaker is something that I really dig about it. The 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, I wish that they had some sort of, like a better connection. I mean, you can listen, like I can plug these headphones into and listen to music. It's just fine. I don't have to worry about Bluetooth draining more of the battery because it's a wired connection. I don't have to worry about having to charge headphones. I can connect using a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. But the problem with that is the sound when I have headphones connected to this, wired headphones and earbuds, the sound sounds a lot lower than what I would expect it to be. Now, when it's paired by Bluetooth, the audio is louder. So I find that to be a little bit weird with the Pixel 4a, but not something that I would say is like a total deal breaker. Just something that I noticed about it. The weight of the phone is actually nice. It's light, right? So carrying, like a heavy brick in your hand for a long time, this phone is maneuverable in your hand and won't cause discomfort to a high degree. And the audio is, again, decent out of it. Right now, I have to say that out of all the Pixel phones, the Pixel 4 to me has the best audio out of all of them. It does. Has really bad battery life. Really bad battery life, though, compared to using the Pixel 5 and the Pixel 4a. Both those phones actually get really good battery life on them. Obviously, the Pixel 5 is holding really strong with it. So, but of course, what do you expect for the size battery that it has versus the Pixel 4a? Wolfer says, luckily, my headphones last 100 hours on a charge. That is crazy. These headphones right here, the TrebLab Z2s, they last on single charge probably, I'm going to say about maybe 5 hours, give or take. Okay, let's see. My video and audio is crystal clear. Okay, cool. Appreciate that. That's working good. Stream good. All right, cool. Coolio. Okay. So yeah, Pixel 4a to me is probably the one out of the three that I'm definitely going to say, for anybody out there that wants to try out, the Pixel experience. The 4a is one I would recommend above the Pixel 5 and the Pixel 4a 5G. The 4a 5G would basically come in second, and then the Pixel 5. Not saying that the Pixel 5 is a terrible phone, just in this year's lineup, that's how I would rank them. 4A, 5G, 5. With the 4A being the top, 5 being the least. There's just, there's something about the 4A. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it's because I know that, it is Google's budget option, and Google's doing very well with their budget option. I mean, the Pixel 3A outsold the Pixel 3 last year. It was very solid, very, very solid phone. And I would tell anybody at the end of the day, I mean, that phone really kicked butt. I mean, there were just some certain things, of course, obviously, that lacked compared to the Pixel 3. Um, the Pixel 3A, obviously, not having that well, wide angle selfie cam. So, um, yeah, and that's probably one of the other things too that the 4A lacks compared to the Pixel 5 is the different features and options that you have on the camera. The Pixel 5 does obviously and should by right have more features with the camera. I mean, the Pixel 5 is considered the flagship generation of from Google phones, and the A series is considered the budget. So it would be insane if the 4A had the exact features that the Pixel 5's cameras has, because then where does it compete? And then I think that's the thing with Google itself, right? It has to make this phone enticing to people to consider to buy, but it also has to still make it enticing for people to still buy the 5. They don't want to build a phone that's not going to sell, that's going to be beaten out by one of its own products. So that's something to really think about. Um, so, anyways, besides that, like I said, battery life is pretty solid on the Pixel 4A. Usually, well, let me see, because I just had this on the charger. I don't know if I'm able to see past battery stats. I really think that there should be like a 5-day history that you can just revert back to. No, no, can't see any past battery stats. It would be nice if you could. Well, let's go to battery usage. Can we adjust it? Nope. So can't see any of the old battery stats. But from what I remember, I don't know, maybe I screenshotted something. Hang on, let me look in photos, and I can tell you what I got. I know I took a screenshot of battery stats, but I don't know if it was the Pixel 5's battery stats or if it was the Pixel 4A, which go here. Okay, screenshots. Where's screenshots? Where's screenshots? It's got to be up here. Okay, I did. Let's see. Okay, so this is actually like with light usage. So on a single charge, which gave me 1 day and 1 hour of battery life. Screen usage was 3 hours and 45 minutes. So as you can imagine, I wasn't using it heavily. And let's see. Try to see when. Oh no, it doesn't show the clock, but it did say that the phone would last till 1:15 p.m. and it was at 28% at the time that I snapped the screenshot. So that's the stats right there. 28% should last till 1:15 p.m. 1 day, 1 hour since last fully charged, and 3 hours and 45 minutes screen on time. So just imagine if I was actually really using this phone, I could have probably maybe got close to 24 hours with battery life and probably yielded like a good 6 hours of screen on time. Considering if I was just only using the Pixel 4A, because I mean, I have all these phones and they have lines on them. And so, alternating between phones becomes a thing, right? Yeah, I should probably silence that. Ringtones. But anyways, yeah, so battery life has actually been pretty superb on it. Let's see here. My Pixel Buds batteries does not last very long on a charge. It lasts like 6 hours and it goes dead. Skull Candy Crushers have amazing battery life. I use them a lot every day and I charge them once or twice a month. Wow. I should look into that. Let's see. Yeah, Google is doing amazing with budget phones. They are. They definitely are. Does not bother me if a device battery life is not the Energizer Bunny on one charge. That is why I use portable recharger. Yeah, see, everyone has like different needs, and they're willing to adapt and use different things to get to have that experience, right? Some people just don't want 2 days of battery life on a single charge. It would be nice because you wouldn't have to carry so much things with you. But if you are okay with carrying additional, power banks and stuff like that, then it's not a major, deal breaker for you. I get between 5 to 7 hours on screen on time with my iPhone 11 Pro Max. Nice. And like, how long a battery life? Like a whole day and a half. The company Kimashi makes the best rechargeable battery packs. I'll have to look into them. Because there was another one that actually was a power bank that doubled up as a wireless charger. So you can it was a power bank that had a Qi pad connection on the side of it, and you would lay the power bank down, and you would lay your phone on top of it, and it would just wirelessly charge. But of course, it was a slow wireless charge. If you wanted to have quick charge, you would have to actually use cable. Yeah. So as far as the cameras on the Pixel 4a goes, I mean, I've shared some photo samples, video samples. I did comparisons between the videos on the 5 and the 4. And there's not a significantly huge difference between this and the 4. The audio, you could tell that with the microphone on the 4 was much more sensitive than it was on the 4a, which I like. I don't like microphones being super sensitive where it'll pick up the leaves in the tree from 40 feet away, like rustling in the wind. I want some sort of noise cancellation of background noise, and but still be able to have the subject speaking be heard clearly. And the 4a kind of delivered on that. Of course, the 5's cameras is pretty good, right? The video on the 5 has gotten a lot better than what it used to be with the 4 and previous Pixel devices. But none of the Pixel devices when they took videos were terrible. And I think that's what I want to emphasize too. People have this notion that it's terrible, and it's really not. It's really not. And I would challenge anybody to go to a Best Buy and play around with the Pixel device and take video footage from it. If you think if it's not, I will tell anybody, it's not like you're shooting from a potato. That's something that I think that I got to emphasize on it. Now, you can see clear differences between the image quality from photos and videos taken between the Pixel 5 and the 4a. There is a subtle difference, very minor, nothing absolutely major. So the types of shots that I could achieve with my Pixel 5, because I am not a professional photographer, I'm just a point and shoot type of guy, but I like taking pictures. I can achieve those same shots with the 4a. And I like that. So cameras is not a miss on this at all. Not a miss. It's definitely a go. In total with the Pixel 4a, like I said, I would definitely recommend it to anybody out there. It's LTE connectivity. I mean, don't rush for 5G. That will come as it expands more and more and more. So you don't have to rush and pay more money for a 5G capable phone like the 4a 5G or even the Pixel 5 currently at this time right now. I mean, if you want to save some money, but have a newer solid phone, $350, so you can probably find it cheaper. Or if you go with Google Fi and you go on their 2-year subscription to upgrade, then you're literally paying on the phone, but when you completely pay off the phone, you're actually only paying like $216 for the phone instead of $350. So you're literally getting a huge chunk off as long as you make your payments on time. Let's see. Yeah, I love not worrying about having to charge my phone throughout the day. Let's see. Is the Google Pixel devices similar to the Google Nexus devices? Pretty much. Except, so the major differences between the Google Nexus program and Google Pixel is that the Nexus program, Google sought out a different OEM, right? So 1 year they went with HTC, 1 year they went with Samsung, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And all they did was they had the OEM build hardware for them to showcase the latest version of Android in it. That's all it really was. So it was a joint effort between hardware manufacturer and Google as a software company. The Google Pixel is pretty much Google's answer to saying we have our own hardware. So now they're building hardware. They're building. They've been building software, and they're just basically taking a page out of what Apple's been doing for so long. Because Apple builds hardware and software. Google's not doing the same thing. And the reason why they named it Pixel was because Google decided that, most people today take pictures and share on social media. So one of the key things that they wanted to tout about their phone that set them differently from a lot of other people is the camera. So really there's not a huge difference because you're using stock Android on Pixels. Always keep your portable battery fully charged. Gotcha. On my iPhone, I use a portable charger called Mophie, and it charges without a cable. Nice. Hello. So yeah, that's what I would literally say about that. If I had to rank them, Pixel 4a, Pixel 4a 5G, then Pixel 5. That is my absolute thoughts on it. You can't go wrong. $350, and actually, this I'm getting at $216 just for paying overtime on this. And the big benefit of that is that when my 2 years has come, to a point, I'm able to upgrade to the next Pixel. I think it's going to be the Pixel 6a the Pixel 6a, because the Pixel 5a will be coming out in 2021. I'll be done paying this in 2022. So it would be the Pixel 6a, because by then it'll be the Pixel 7 that's coming out. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. That's kind of late. It's like 10:30. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up in like the next 3 minutes. So if you guys have any other questions, let's go ahead and ask them right now before I close this out. It's pretty much late. It's like almost 10:30 my time. Oh man. But if not, if there's no other questions. Oh, by the way, just like an update, I tweeted it. And I know some of you guys follow me on Twitter, so you guys probably saw the tweet. But yes, I'm stepping up my fasting, going from a 16/8 to a 20/4. So I'm actually going to be fasting for 20 hours and being able to only eat for 4 hours. And I'm working on that because the week before Thanksgiving, I'm intending to actually fast for 48 hours straight and kind of build towards that. I've been watching Phone Jerome. I've found his other channel. Ray actually sent me a link to his Instagram account. I followed him on Instagram, which had a link to his YouTube channel. So now I'm watching videos from Jerome that has nothing to do with tech, but has everything to do with fasting and eating healthy and whatnot. The name of the channel is called Finally Fasting. And I am going to step that up because I know Thanksgiving there's going to be food, and I want to be able to join in the festivities and not feel like I'm limited to things. So the week before, I'm actually going to do a 48-hour fast where I will allow myself one day to eat after that, and then I will fast for another 48 hours. To be quite frank with everybody, the end result that I'm trying to get down to is I'm trying to get down to about $140, like 140 pounds. And watching Jerome and his journey through fasting actually inspired me a lot. From September of last year to September of this year, he's literally lost almost 100 pounds. You literally see where he made his changes, and it was amazing. It was amazing to see him go through that. And I want to be able to go through that. You know what I mean? Just make some good changes in my life. I agree with your last video 100%, says Michael. Appreciate it. California takes it many steps further. So yes, you are more than correct. Yo, what up, Alex? What do I think of the Pixel 5 so far? I'm actually going to do a different live stream talking about that later on down the road. This one, I just basically talked about the Pixel 4a. And yeah, I mean, just real quick though, I mean, the Pixel 5, I like it. It has its quirks. It has its things that make the 4a more appealing than the 5. But I'm gonna save that for most of that talking points for that live stream when I go on that. But yeah, so I'm kind of nervous because fasting is something that is like you have to be careful, especially when you're type 2 diabetic. You definitely have to be careful of fasting. You literally could hurt yourself if you're not watching yourself carefully. Like, it's different. Like if like someone who is not type 2 diabetic was fasting, I think they have a little bit more of a leeway because they're not having to want to watch their blood sugar because like being type 2 diabetic, yes, your body does not make enough insulin for the mass of your body to be able to process sugar correctly. So you have a lot of sugar in your blood and it's being processed out of your body incorrectly. But it's also damaging things like your nerves, your eyes. Like I'm supposed to be going to an optometrist to have them look to see if, the sugar is damaging any of the nerves within my eyes or causing any internal bleeding in my eyes, because that's one of the things that happens and you lose your vision. So that's something I have to look into. Um, but when you're fasting, being type 2 diabetic, you have to watch out for your blood sugar because, yeah, you don't want your blood sugar to be too high, but you definitely don't want to be fasting so much that your blood sugar drops. Like you have to find that balance. So that's why, like, I started off doing 16/8, so 16 hours of not eating and drinking water only, and then doing 8 hours of eating. Now I'm switching to 20 hours of water and coffee, because coffee is a good hunger suppressant, and then doing only 4 hours of eating, which doesn't mean like for 4 hours I eat. I probably will only eat like one meal, and it's going to be more protein, no starches, none of that stuff. So that's where I'm at. And then the week before Thanksgiving, I will do 2 48-hour fasts. So I'll fast for 48 hours and then I will allow myself to eat for one day. But it'll probably be like maybe one or two meals, maybe like a salad and then another salad in the evening, and that's it. And then I'll fast for another 48 hours. That's what I intend to do. My goal is by New Year's. Right now, I last weighed myself. So when I started fasting, I was at 184 pounds and I'm only 5'4". That was what, like almost 2 weeks ago. Now, last that I weighed myself, from 184, I've dropped to about 175. So I nearly almost lost 10, and that was from the very first phases of it. But now the weight loss is starting to slow down just a little bit. Now that my body has caught up and understanding what it's doing now. So I'm going to have to increase, because by the time you hit 12 hours, you put your body in a state of ketosis. From there, you want your body to go to autophagy, which is basically using the fat in your body to start using it for it. And then it also kind of goes into what they call like a level 7, which is fat burning. And that's where you're really starting to sap all your body fat and using it. So doing a 20/4 now, starting today, for me is going to be a challenge, but I know I can do this and it's going to get much better. So yeah, just giving you guys an update on that. But anyways, guys, I am about to hop off. I just wanted to give you guys a brief rundown, my over thoughts on the Pixel 4a. If you guys came in late, you guys can watch the replay. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So until next time, everybody, aloha.